Alrighty, so it's time for What Do You Want to Know? It's where you guys get the opportunity to ask me questions to do with, market gardening, growing your own food, and I do my best to answer them. So, first question is from Stanley Tank H. And his question is, how often should I water seedlings, which I'm doing right now, and to sort of establish them, and when should I be planting? And he's in Melbourne, Australia. Well, seedlings, because they're in, as you can see here in the trays, they're in a small little cell, so there's not much soil around the root system. So what you want to do is make sure you give them a water each day. So every day, sometimes even morning and night, if it's a bit hot. So like today it's going to be 26 degrees. So I'll give these guys a water now, and then I'll give them another water this evening. I'll come and check and see if the soil around the root systems are still dry. So you need to give them good consistent watering until you get them in the ground, and then once you get them in the ground, you've planted them out, then you want to actually give them a good drink nearly every day for the first sort of 2 weeks, just so they can establish those root systems and get enough sort of water around them. Planting, what am I planting now? So in Melbourne, you can sort of be planting all your brassicaceae, like your cauliflowers, kales, broccoli. You guys can even be planting out some leeks, cabbages, bok choy, silver beet. What else can you be planting? Spring onions. So all that sort of stuff can be going in the ground now. All your leafy sort of greens like your spinach, lettuces, they can all go in. Kohlrabi is another good one. Check them all out, get them in. Now's a good time to be getting all that sort of stuff out into your garden. So hopefully that answers your question, Stanley. So yeah, next question comes from Story by Buckley. Their question is, can I water their garden? No, I can't. I'm too busy down here. So thanks for your question anyway. I'm going to walk around and continue to do my work as I answer these questions. Try and kill two birds with one stone. Turn off the water here, and now I'm going to check out what the next question is. Alright, so the next question comes from Shaney Witt. I hope I'm saying that right. Shaney Witt's question is, how do I keep rabbits and kangaroos out of my market garden, because it's such a big garden? How do I do it? Literally, I do it with this stuff. So this here is actually called, which we call electric chook netting. So this literally goes around the whole perimeter of this garden that I've got here, and as you can see, the netting goes all the way around. So at the moment it's doing probably a 75% good job, but there is spots where I can see, if you look down here, you can sort of see there's been a little bit of a track starting to form here. So obviously the rabbits are starting to slowly sneak in there. So it's not 100%, but it does a pretty good job. The other week I put in about 144 cauliflower seedlings, and they literally got wiped out by rabbits. So yeah, as I said, it's not 100% proof, but this is what I use. Once the seedlings do get established, the rabbits tend to leave them alone. They only like them when they're sort of young, tender seedlings. So great question. So the next question comes from Chill Farm Brisbane, which the guys are up north. And their question is, what is my favourite crop to grow and why? And the second part of the question was, how do I get great germination from my seedlings? So the first question, what is my favourite crop? I'd probably say it's silver beet. Just got it here. So this is obviously our row of silver beet, 60-metre row. And right next to it here, we've got our succession row coming through. So silver beet's probably the main crop that I have going consistently all year round. It's a really hardy vegetable. It's very versatile in the way you can cook it. You can use it like spinach. You can use it when it's young and tender. You can just use it in salads and stuff like that as well. But I'd have to say that's my number one crop. Besides that, obviously like spring onions as well. Another good favourite, leeks this time of year. Got me leeks going on. Obviously all my summer varieties, which are starting to come to the tail end at the moment, like your tomatoes, eggplants, capsicums. But yeah, my number one would have to be silver beet all year round. It's just a really good veggie that I can harvest all year round. So Second part of the question was, how do I get good germination from my seedlings? It all comes down to the actual propagating mix. So I've got another video, if you scroll through my YouTube channel, and it's how to make your own seed raising mix. I'll link it below. Check that out because it's a really good video, and that gives your seedlings the best start that they need. It gives them everything that they need to get going. So check that video out, and let's get on to the next question. Alrighty, so the next question comes from Curry Egg Sanger, which I think is the greatest handle name going round. I'll just squeeze under here. Their question is about irrigation, where I get my source of water from. They're looking to start their own market garden, and they're wondering how they go about it. Do they dig their own dam, or do they bore the water? So my water source actually comes from Deep Creek. So I'm lucky enough where we have a water right where we can pump, I think it's about 20 meg of water, or 26 meg of water out of Deep Creek here. And I just have the pump system here that runs up to overhead drippers, on overhead irrigation sprinklers. So to answer your question, I'd probably say you're going to need a consistent water source. So having a dam, you know, through the hotter months that you might not get any rainfall, you might find that you might, you know, not have enough water. I'd probably say a bore is probably going to be your best bet, unless you've got a creek running by on the property. It's one of the things that I think is the hardest to find good farming land that has water access. So I'm pretty lucky here where we do have the water right, so I can pump straight out of the creek. If you don't have that, and you have got access with a bore, that you know that there's actually some you know, underground water table that you can get to. Alright, so the next question comes from Compost Worm 5. Their question is to do with raised beds. They want to maybe look to grow in some raised beds. They're growing at the moment in some bare earth, and they want to know what's the best medium to be growing into. I find if you're going to be making raised beds, make sure that your soil mix is a good sort of free draining mix. So make sure it's got some good compost in there. You know, compost that has a little bit of barks or twigs or whatever, so it lets the water sort of drain through the soil where it doesn't get caught in the soil and gets really soggy. Also with your raised beds, you always want to make sure that there's a drainage point out of the bed, or if it's going straight onto bare earth. Never enclose the bottom of your raised bed with, say, like builder's plastic or anything like that, because then the water gets trapped in there and then you just get a soggy mess. So you always want to make sure that that water can drain out or can drain through to the earth. The second part of their question was to do with how to grow good peppers. What's a good soil to grow? Same, just your compost mix. Anything, you know, you can go and buy it from your local nursery. You can even go to your local sort of building supplies all the time. They have the bags down there and stuff like that. Anything that's got a really good mixture of sort of manures, obviously your fertilizers, and obviously organic material is your best way to go. So hopefully that answers your question, mate, and let's get on to the next one. Alright, so this next question comes from Jubilee Snack Shop, and their question relates back to the just last question to do with raised beds. They've just built some raised beds and they've found a snake in their raised bed, and they're asking me, how do you get rid of them? Best thing to do is call a snake catcher. It's the safest way. They'll come and grab the snake and they'll relocate it away from your home out into like a nature reserve or whatever. Snakes are one thing that I have to deal with down here. We get some really dangerous ones like big brown snake, the eastern brown snake. And once I see them, I just go the other way. They're just not worth dealing with, trying to handle them. Let the professionals do that. So hopefully that helps, and yeah, get on Google and just find your local snake catcher. Alright, so the next question comes from Ren M79, and their question relates to pretty much about how to start seedlings and stuff like that. So if you, as I said, go back and have a look at my video, you know, just how to make your own seed raising mix. Again, I'll tag it below for the YouTube channel, so you can go and check that out. It goes through everything, it shows you how. And also, if you do have any other questions and I haven't been able to answer them today, go through my YouTube channel. I post lots of sort of how to do videos and helpful videos, and you do it yourself sort of videos, so check them out. That's all I've got time for to do this week with what do you want to know. Sorry for those who I haven't answered your questions. I'll jot them down and I'll make sure that I add them into the next video. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Please make sure you subscribe, hit the subscribe button, it's up there or up there. Share and like the video, and we will check you next time, guys. Have a great day.